Hello, ladies, gentlemen, deceased, and everything and everyone in between. It is I, Emily Sophia, and I'm going to be breaking down for you guys the main trailers for the 5th season of The Walking Dead. I know that a lot of you guys who have been following my channel before have been requesting that I do this pre-season vlog, and so I thought, well, I guess I'll cave. I guess I'll try to be excited, get myself ramped up. But I was anyway, so let us do this thing. So any pre-season vlog that you're gonna look up is gonna offer something a little bit different. Some are going to be more centered around the spoilers and just, blowing open the doors on everything and anything that is to come. In this vlog, I want you guys to know that while I have read some of the comics, I am not yet caught up, and I do not want to know what is going to happen this season, as in who dies, who lives, plot points of that nature, and I don't want to know what's going to happen in the comics either, because I'm going forward in both of those. So I'm going to be talking about the two main trailers for this season. There was one that was released at Comic-Con, couple months ago now, I think it is, so I've kind of just let that simmer in my brain. And then they also released a new Never Let Your Guard Down trailer. There's links in the description to all of the links that I'm going to be talking about in this vlog, but I'm mainly going to talk about those two as well as some cast, crew interviews, stuff like that, because I tend to do pretty extensive research for these pre-season vlogs, as I did when I was doing the show Dexter, but I just ran into, today in fact, a potentially huge spoiler, which the person who wrote this article stated it as fact, and then they backed down and kind of said that they were predicting it, but I don't know. But I'm not going to give any credence to the suppositions, whatever. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to get my hands any dirtier than they have to be talking about the doom and gloom and death and gore that is to come this season. So no spoilers, please. I will talk about the things that I in general anticipate for this season, but the rest of that stuff you can put it to bed until it is time for those things to rise, okay? Also, for those of you who are comic fans and looking for other Walking Dead-esque stuff to read, I just started this new series called Revival. This is going to be a really, really quick little plug, sorry, but I have to tell you people about it. It's got a very cool and novel idea about the zombie apocalypse genre. That being, what if the dead came back to life and returned to their homes and families and jobs and tried to live the lives that they led before, except, well, fundamentally altered by the processes of death. So it's very, very cool, very fascinating, and kind of darkly humorous at times. So that's a cool thing, but let's talk about the show at long last. So, regarding some interviews, and there was also a video that AMC posted as a greeting from the cast for the premiere episode of season 5, so I'm going to talk about those things and summarize those. Again, links are below. According to the showrunners, this season will be a bit more of an ensemble piece with individual characters to follow, i.e. Beth, which it's really nice to have that ensemble feel again after a long season of individual character arcs and the necessary fragmentation of everything that followed the fall of the prison, all that good stuff. The 4th season was absolutely fantastic in its character development and in its willingness to focus on individual characters in episodes, i.e. The Grove, which I will continue to rave about to the end of my days. It was good that the show focused on those individual characters, but now we get to see, the boys are back in town, and I'm really excited about that, despite the tragedies that I know are going to ensue, especially in what is going to be a huge premiere episode, but it's just good to have your family back in the zone. I do appreciate and anticipate that. And we also have, for I think it's the first time, a true cliffhanger ending for the end of a season. So there's no time jump between the end of season 4 and the beginning of season 5, which is very rare for the show. We have had cliffhanger mid-season finales, but as for an entire season, this is kind of unprecedented territory, and I like that the writers, they're getting frisky, they're getting innovative, and I really do enjoy that. And I feel that the show really is going to flourish quite nicely under the direction of Scott Gimple, who all the episodes that he has done in the show so far, look them up on your own time, but they're kind of belong to the upper crust of Walking Dead episodes, in my opinion, and I think it's one that a lot of people share in general, but it's gonna be good. So Gimple himself, he promises variety in storytelling and characters. And Andrew Lincoln says in the Greetings from the Set of Season 5 video that one of the major themes in the season is going to be group belonging, people trying to find their place in the group, as always. And of course hierarchy as well, because we've got the semi-original group with new characters that have been added in recent seasons. The core group meets the terminus group, and we don't really know a lot about what those interactions are going to look like, but I imagine from what we've seen in the main trailers, there's a hierarchical struggle between, I think, Rick as group leader and Abraham, who is also extremely strong-willed, and he comes from a different group, and everybody's trying to protect their own and then also figure out who they want to protect. And it's kind of this circular motion of who am I going to protect, who am I protecting, you know, things of that nature. Also interesting about the premiere, Lauren Cohen, who plays Maggie, said that she doubts that some of the scenes that were shot for the premiere are actually going to make it to television due to the disturbing content, which, I mean, we've seen a lot of really disturbing things get by in the show so far, so I can only imagine what the caliber of what she's talking about, what they just shot. Hopefully that stuff will be on the DVD, I mean, for our sick entertainment. You know, what we're hearing is that the scripts are more action-packed and bloodier than they have been before. We're gonna see a lot of human characters doing very monstrous things and monstrous characters doing very human things. I think the show lately has not dealt very much in the black and white, and that's something that I, as a psychological drama lover, that is something I really strive to find in the shows that I watch. And there's this theme of there being no safety and no sanctuary anywhere. There's the sense of constantly being on one's guard. Even when you strike up these new alliances, even when you find a place that you could potentially call a tenuous home, don't plan on it. You know, keep your little stick with your belongings tied up and then like little handkerchief, old cartoon style, and get ready to get yourself gone, because things could change very violently and drastically at any moment, and often for the worse. And yeah, so the writers are promising new ethical and moral decisions for characters that have perhaps been spared thus far from making those brutally tough calls. I think everyone's had to make some kind of sacrifice or do something truly abhorrent. But at this point, anybody who's been kind of on the sidelines and they're doing okay and sticking with their guns, well, they just might have to pick up some new weapons for the battles to come. So, discussing the brand new Never Let Your Guard Down premiere trailer. I say premiere trailer because I think that most of this is focusing on things that we're going to see in the premiere. Not so much for the first half of the new season. So we've got, of course, Gareth, I believe his name is, he's saying, I just hope you understand, we didn't want to hurt you, nothing was personal. The past tense in those lines, to me, indicates that hurt has already been inflicted. Has somebody gone down? Is somebody mortally wounded? At this point, are we in the aftermath of another major character death, or at least a major character trauma? That is something that, based on what I'm hearing about the movement of this premiere episode, I wouldn't be surprised if we are dealing with that, the kind of aftermath that we did with the fall of the prison. even in the premiere episode, we've got some craziness coming, okay? So then we also see Rick's team is on the chopping block. Everybody is gagged on their knees, tied down, pretty much awaiting their fate. And Gareth is acting pretty smirky. And in the main trailers and teasers that I've seen so far, the way that they're edited, it makes it difficult to tell what Gareth is smirking about, because each edit has him smirking at a different piece of dialogue on the part of Rick's team. So I don't know what he's smirking about, but we're gonna see in due time. And then later we see a scene of the team busting into the church, strategically whittling down big walker hordes. And we also see a pretty exciting looking walker explosion, and other scenes of the well walkers, their faces all contorted and bloated, and then even there's like a walker wearing glasses still. So we see both ends of the spectrum with those kinds of walkers, because the well walkers seem to kind of embody how long this has been the reality, the zombies being afoot, versus how present and sustaining this reality has become. Because to me, seeing a walker wearing glasses indicates that, you know, they're freshly dead, meaning that people are continuing to fall to this, and the apocalypse is as far from over as it is at the same time, perhaps soon to end. If the group can get the cure going in Washington, I don't know. It's really interesting to think about that stuff. And then Rick reminds Carl / the audience that you can never let your guard down. There's this movement from the idea of kill or be killed to hunt or be hunted. That's kind of the tagline of the newest poster, the official poster that was released with Rick all squatting in the woods and getting ready to do his thing. And so what are the implications of this switch of theme? Kill or be killed versus hunt or be hunted? Well, it's not just about reacting to the things around you that pose a threat. It's about actively seeking out and pursuing people, okay? So either you are pursuing and taking people out, or you're gonna be the one pursued and taken out. So again, the show's overall trajectory has been from finding your way to survive in this wasteland of the dead to fearing and reacting against the living, whose actions reflect being in this world ruled by the dead. And that's a fun little bit of philosophicalness for you, but I won't get too far into it. I will now discuss the main trailer, backtracking a couple of months to that exciting installment. So, of course, we see that the group breaks out from the, I think it was the train car that they were trapped in. There's gas masks, shots fired. The group is bowed but unbroken. Little Game of Thrones reference for you. And so we see Bob pleading with Gareth for the release of his group, telling him that they have a man with a cure who needs to be transported and accompanied to Washington. And then Gareth delivers a fireside ultimatum, I assume sometime after this scene with everybody on the chopping block, and he tells Rick and his crew that they can side with Terminus and go to Washington, and then I don't really know if there's an alternative solution that he presents as shown in the trailer, but I assume it's like, you join us or you're out, and well, you don't exactly want to know what that means for you. And we see that the group ain't splitting. There's a lot of fragmented scenes where we see certain characters with other certain characters, but it's hard to tell exactly who the full group is going to end up being by the end, so there's still that sense of ambiguity as to who makes it, who's there, when are all these people together, and that's what watching the show this upcoming month is going to answer for us. And then Abraham, he tells Gareth that we will make the dead die and the living will have this world again, which is a very cool and poetic line. I enjoyed that little tidbit. Abraham is very prominent in these trailers, so I assume that he's going to be making it a far way and will become, like Rick, a very integral character in the group narrative. Rick tells Carl that he doesn't trust this guy. Presumably we're still talking about Gareth, who seems to be the main adversary slash ambassador of the bad guys, but they're trying to forge this unstable union of sorts. We see Tyrese and Carol on the tracks. I don't know if slash when they make it to their group. But then later in the trailer, there's a shot of who I think it's Glenn, Tyrese, Sasha, Tara, Rick, Judith, possibly? And then there's Carl and Maggie, so, because Rick is holding a baby, which I do assume is his, but who knows, maybe he's just trying to use his paternal instincts on some child. I don't know, but I assume that it's Judith. I assume then that Carol and Tyrese do make it and reunite with the main group. We also see in this trailer floods and fires. It's as if there's a new apocalypse that's breaking forth in the midst of this post-apocalyptic era. The group's efforts against the walkers they're increasing in their scope and intensity. And the context in which the group is encountering the dead, they're taking on a whole new sense of desperation and craziness. It's like the closer you get to the end, i.e. the cure, the more torturous their strides to that end become. And I already am applauding the writing and directing team for the direction in which they're taking things, because it looks good, I'm just saying. There seems to be a struggle of power between Rick and Abraham. Again, that church scene that we see is incredibly provocative because it reminds us of that church scene in, I think it's the second season, when they're still looking for Sophia and everything. So spirituality and sacredness they're long gone from these places of worship. And the only thing for which anyone has reverence in this desolate place in time is the family that one finds and creates when fighting to survive. So again, ponder that little philosophical piece there. It looks like things are heading back to the city as well, which is very exciting, and I'm sure the sets are going to be rocking for those sequences. And then we also switch over to Beth. Now, I don't know what the crap is going on with her, but so she's part of a system now, and there's this lady with her hair pulled back in a tight, very neat bun. She's wearing some kind of officer's uniform, and she says, every sacrifice we make needs to be for the greater good. And here, you're not the greater good. Again, you're part of a system. And then it cuts to a scene of Beth. She's in some kind of jumpsuit or scrubs or something of that nature, and she's dangling over this seeming abyss of an elevator shaft and looking down with her flashlight. There's an emergency surgery, guns firing. Then we cut back to the scene with the officer who strikes vehemently at Beth's head. So now the question is this system of which Beth is now part, is this seeking some kind of greater good, or is it another sort of terminus, you know? I cannot be sure. I do not know, and I do not want to know until I am seeing it unfold in front of me. So I am very, very excited for this new season, and I have huge expectations. It looks like it's gonna be bigger and better and badder than ever. And judging by the main season producer, director, they've got a great team. Everybody's all in. The cast seems to be loving it. There's a lot of hype, but I think that it's very, very warranted. So it's gonna be good. Let me know what you guys think and anticipate. Any spoilers that you wish to discuss, I would ask that you preface them with a little, hey, 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 here's some super top secret business that some of you might not want to know about. I would appreciate that. I think others would too. And I also apologize for the long hiatus in my videos this summer, but I am back. The Walking Dead is going to be my main show for this fall as far as what I'm reviewing. I will also be watching the comedy Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which I watched this summer and I love. It's very funny, but I don't think I'm going to be reviewing it on the channel. I'll also be watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but again, I'll probably just be live tweeting those or something, so follow me on Twitter. I do try and read and reply to tweets as often as I can. You guys are the greatest. I cannot wait to get back with my videos consistently. It's going to be a fun fall and a very fun springtime as well when we get the second half of the season and the return of Hannibal, Bates Motel, and much, much more. So I think a major character is gonna kick the bucket this season, and I really hope that it's not who I read about in the weird story that I accidentally stumbled across today. But yeah, I'm just keeping it with the official trailers. Those are spoilery enough at times, you know, but they're edited in such a way as to manipulate our expectations. So it's like, as much as you want to find out what's gonna happen from these trailers, you want to take them with a grain of salt. Because I think they take pleasure in messing with us. I don't think I know. I am sure that they do. Even I myself, as a person, I take pleasure in messing with people sometimes, in an innocent kind of way, usually. But anyways, I'm gonna peace out before this review becomes too much more laborious. You guys take care. I love you. Mwah. And I will be back before you know it.